So welcome everyone to our evening review here at PF International for round 2 of the FIA Karting European Championship. Myself, Chris McCarthy, Guillaume Alvarez here for you to talk you through the current state of play in terms of points. So we're going to give you what the top 11 grid would be should there be no fifth heat tomorrow. Of course there will be, and what the grid would be for the top 12 in the senior class as it currently stands. So effectively, it's better known, of course, as an intermediate classification. That's what we're going to give you, the up-to-date one. Guillaume, we're going to start, I think, by talking about the junior class. We just had a press conference, by the way, where we brought in the guys who are sitting at top of the points in their respective classes. Delano Van't for the juniors, Hannes Janker for the seniors. Let's start off with Delano Van't. One of those days which couldn't have gone much better. 3 wins and a second for him. He's absolutely flying, the Forza Racing driver.
Yeah, flying is the right way to say it, Chris. Of course, 3 wins, as you said. Delano Van't has been truly one of the biggest names out there on the track. Really impressive all the way, ever since we started this day until the end. Even though, as he said, the conditions were kind of good, very hot with a lot of grip, with still a bumpy track, as we described, PFI here in the UK. But, Delano Van't managed to be the fastest out there, grabbing 3 wins. So it was quite impressive at the end, even though the opposition in the junior category was impressive, as we're going to run through the names to give you a bit of an insight, about the competition. Yeah.
Well, just behind him at the moment is Gabriel Bortoleto, the Brazilian. 2 wins and 2 seconds for him at the moment. He, of course, won both his first races, and at that point we were thinking, Bortoleto, he looks on to take pole position here. Then came the 2 seconds, so he was beaten twice today. However, the Brazilian, pretty decent first round for him. He would have been hoping to come in as championship leader, but he's going pretty strong. Yeah,
and Delano Van't came in the way, Otherwise, I think Bortoleto could have been even more performant, But still 2 wins, 2 second place. This is, I think, fully enough. Of course, waiting for the last and 5th qualifying heat tomorrow morning, just to make sure where he would be starting from. But still, Bortoleto quite impressive. As you said, back in Sano, he was already in the pace, but we didn't see maybe much of him at the end, because he got some sort of unlucky in the final steps of the weekend. But still, he shows that he's in the mood and in the pace to be a contender. And there you go, 2 wins, 2 second place. Impressive, and consistency, I would say, is the key word in this game. Because we have 5 heats in total for all drivers. So the more you get the best results, the higher you'll be on the grid. So I think he got it perfectly.
Yeah, then we move on to Kittel Small, and qualified pole overall, didn't he? Unfortunately, a 5th. That at this level is actually, if you're going for pole, that's a bad result, believe me. 2 wins though, a 2nd and then a 5th. As a Kittel Small, once again, looking very good. Came into this round 4th in the championship, 3rd at the moment. So if we were to go into the final now, he'd score 8 points as a result of qualifying 3rd. So Kittel Small, I think, once again going well. I'm just going to read out 4th place, who would be alongside him on the 2nd row, if you like. Gabriele Mini, once again going along very well. 3rd is 6th, and he has also taken 2 wins. So at the moment, the top 4 have all taken more than 1 win.
Yeah, absolutely. Mentioning Gabriele Mini, we saw him performing well on home soil in Sano, being 2nd in the category at the end. In here, he was starting every heat, as he will do tomorrow as well, from pole position, being the fastest in quali. But once again, a few times, he showed that in the beginning of the day that he had the pace, but it happens twice. He got beaten in the end, so wasn't able to hold the position until the very end. But then he kept improving. The 2 wins at the end. So we saw gradually that Gabriele Mini was able just to put things together after some would say a cold start, even though he was performing kind of well, obviously, and then he ended up with 2 wins. So definitely a name to keep an eye on for tomorrow, Gabriele Mini, as I'm pretty sure, I think that's the mindset that he has. He wants to be at least 1 step higher on the podium.
Well, 5th place at the moment is Victor Bernier, improved as the day went on. 7th, a 2nd, and then 2 wins. Now, I want to talk about the drivers that complete the top 10, because we've got some, if you like, unfamiliar names this season. I know it's only round 2, but Thomas ten Brink being one of them, Alexandros Katoulis another one. Then we have Kamara as well, also out there, Rafael Kamara. Isaac Hajar, very quick driver, so not a complete surprise. Zach O'Sullivan, we'd expect to see him somewhere up in the top 10, but Tenbrink, Katulis, Kamara, I think 3 drivers definitely have made a step forward for this round.
Yeah, absolutely. Those 3, you said it, Alexandros actually showed some good pace over there. He was there in the top 5, top 6, at least a contender for the podium. He had some sort of bad luck sometimes getting past in the last stages of some of the heats, then ended up scoring some good points, at least in terms of position for the final grid tomorrow for final. This is good results for him. So those three names, as you mentioned, we're going to have to watch them as well, because who knows what might happen. This is the unexpected part of the sport. This is something that we like a lot, of course, not mentioning the wild cards driver that we're going to talk about just in a while. Being able to be there, when we might not expect them to be, and just adding some tension in the battle. So yeah, good fun.
Yeah, the wildcard driver Alex Lloyd, as Guillaume was about to say there, 11th place. Now let's move on to the OK class. Hannes Janker was here for the press conference, starting on pole, said this track is actually very difficult, very bumpy. He reckons over 22 laps. Some drivers are going to hit some problems potentially. He, however, took 3 wins today at 6th place. When I say problems, I mean as in struggling to keep an eye on the carb and keep an eye, look after the engine. So that could be quite interesting. 3 wins and a 6th for him. Behind him, Matteo Michelotto, 3 second places and a win. Michelotto has looked super strong so far today.
Super strong, as you said, but it was interesting to see, him battle with Janker, because those two were able, they were kind of on the same pace, showing some good performance in one heat after the other. Hannes Janker was able to put a fantastic move. You might remember that in the last lap of one of heats on Travis Zanuto. So at the end, the battle is on, but still it's not over until the checkered flag is waved, and we saw that happening. We might see that happening again tomorrow, hopefully in the final. It could be fantastic just to see them battling for the win of the weekend. We shall see about that, of course, but those two have been absolutely consistent and performant. So those two are key elements, of course, to be able to start on the highest position on the grid. But Hannes Janker really, as you said, mentioning the difficult characteristics of the track, being very bumpy, with a lot of grips needed to be performant and consistent. I think that's a point of view quite shared by most of the drivers. At least we had a chance to talk to them at least on Thursday and Friday, and they all say, yeah, fantastic track, but still pretty difficult to handle, and you need a few laps to get it right. But I think Hannes Janker and Travis Zanuto both actually did it pretty good.
Let's run through the rest of the top 5. No real surprises here. Lorenzo Trafisanuto qualified pole overall. He's had a win, as has Juho Valtonen, currently sits 4th. But Davi Vidales likewise has had a win. He's had a 1st, a 2nd, 3rd and a 4th. Behind that, Hodgson is 6th. Pedro Hiltbrand, 7th place, going well once again. Danny Curl, though, the one to watch, he's had 3 wins and a 12th. So if we can get another win tomorrow, he should be pushing up to the top 5. Of course, didn't even make the final at Sarno. So this is a great turnaround for Curl. Then we have Thompson, Meloni, and just outside of the top 10, Kaz Havercourt and Callum Bradshaw, 2 drivers, very, very consistent, keeping out of trouble, even if they haven't been able to get on terms with the likes of Hannes Janker.
Yeah, absolutely. Once again, it shows all divers and how high the quality of the driving is, and with all those drivers, being able to perform well. We still have 1 heat to go tomorrow. This is still guess from our side. Seeing what we have seen on the track so far, but still we might have to wait tomorrow for the intermediate classification before heading to the final, just to make sure that our guests from today are going to be confirmed or not for tomorrow. But still, having like 10 different names or more, being able to at least have a shot at the podium and the points at the end of the final, and why not for the victory? That's just fantastic. Yeah.
If you're tuning in today, thanks for Guillaume. If you were tuning in today, you would have noticed we did have a red flag incident. Unfortunately, in one of the junior races, Samuel Salmi had to be attended to by the medical team here. He has been taken to hospital for a checkup, but the news is he is okay, and hopefully we're going to have the Finnish driver back with us tomorrow. But that is it from our evening review here on Saturday for round 2 of the FIA Karting European Championship. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow. We're going to be live from 10:20 local time here in the UK. You can tune in as ever via cikfia.tv, via our YouTube channel. Of course, keep up to date with what's happening as well on our social networks too. Thank you for watching.